Hiya Thor, and welcome to today's geography history lesson, because it's a bit of both. So what we're going to look at today is how far did the Roman Empire stretch? As we know, the Romans sent their legions all over the place to try and conquer the land and take it for themselves. So what we're going to have a look at today is how far the actual empire did stretch. How many places did they conquer and take over and claim as their own? The Romans built up their empire through conquest, which is where they fight and take over, or taking over, so just taking over the land. And they did this between the 3rd century BC and the 3rd century AD. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from northwestern Europe to the Near East and encompassed all the lands of the Mediterranean. That sounds a little bit like gobbledygook at the moment, but we're going to make it so that we understand it, and we're going to have a look at some maps to fully understand the stretch of the empire. So what did it look like? This map here shows the spread of the empire. So if you look at the bottom here, you can see we are now, this is 20 AD, 70 AD, 140 AD, 230 AD. So we are going into the after the year 0 at the moment. We'll have a look right from the beginning again, and then we can talk it through. So this is 510 BC, and you can see it starts in Rome, and you can begin to see that Italy is taken over, and then the spread of the empire stretches into Europe. It also starts to stretch into northern Africa, and you can see it now in 70 AD beginning to go into the United Kingdom and taking over England. Now you'll notice that by the time we get into 400 AD, the empire is reducing, and when we get to 530 AD, it completely stops. So it gets taken over by the next people. So it's quite a good map to have a look at this. It's really interesting watching that spread. You can see how quickly the empire spreaded over the years, but equally how quickly that empire reduced as well. So which countries were part of the empire? So I've got a map for you here which shows the full spread of the Roman Empire. However, all the names on here are the ancient names. Some you will recognize, Britannia, so hopefully you realize that as Britain. You might see over here in the east, Mesopotamia, and we know that from when we did Varjak-Pur. There's a place here that you might recognize, Egyptus. That hopefully you know what that sounds like, Egypt. Syria, which remains the same. And we've got Italia here, so Italy. So you can see all of these different places. However, it doesn't relate to the names of the countries now, not all of them. So I will explain your task in a minute, but it's got something to do with this map. The Roman Empire reached its greatest size under the reign of the Emperor Trajan in 117 AD. To aid the running of the empire, it was divided into provinces, which is a bit like dividing it into states or dividing it into counties like we have in the United Kingdom. The number of provinces changed over time as territories were gained or lost, and as larger provinces were divided into smaller ones. So in the time of the Emperor Trajan, the provinces in the interior of the country, so that is the provinces on the inside here, the ones in pink, were run by governors who were chosen by the leading upper class people. In contrast, so that's in opposite to that, the border provinces, so these green ones here, were chosen by the emperor himself, and there was a good reason for doing this. The emperor chose the governors of those provinces because it helped with his security. He wanted to make sure that the border provinces had armies to protect them and to defend them. And he wanted to make sure that those armies were under the control of somebody that he had chosen that were loyal to him, as opposed to somebody who was thinking, right, this is a great chance for me to seize power and get rid of the emperor. So the emperor was clever in the way he chose how his provinces were run. So your task, what I'd like you to do is identify the countries under the Roman Empire rule. So you have got a map here of the Roman Empire in 117 AD, and you've got a blank map here showing the exact same places, however there are no names on it. Now the land, the borders have changed over time. You have to remember this was a long time ago. So what I'd like you to do as best you can is identify which modern countries were historically under Roman Empire rule. So you can print this off, or you can collect them from the office if you like. I'll leave some printed out in the box outside the office if you need to come and collect one. And you can mark on the map. You can either write in the spaces, or you have to write quite small, or you could do some labels to put which countries were under the Roman Empire rule. So to start us off here, we've got Britannia. So you can mark off there Britain, because if you have a look, it wasn't just England, it was Wales as well. And see how you get on. See if there's anything that surprises you, and see if you can link any of the ancient names with the modern names and see how close those places are. Okay, I hope you enjoy doing the task. Maybe involve some of your family members, see if they know, see if they can give you a hand as well. Okay, take care guys, bye.